So to continue the Aquarius discussion, you may decide that whatever's going on at work is pushing up against everything that you're trying to do right now. So it could be very, very tense, particularly since you have so much happening in that area of your chart that has to do with your needs, your desires, your workaday world, and furthermore, your ideas, and you'll feel a little bit constricted at this time. So keep that in mind. The biggest issue right now that we're going to discuss here is what occurs on the 29th, when we have a kite formed through various different interplays of signs. So we've got the grand trine and an opposition occurring, and which is what creates this kite formation. It's kind of complicated, but I'll try to make it easy to understand. So the grand trine is great for Aquarius, as it is for all the air signs. A Libra moon, Pluto in Aquarius, and then Gemini and Venus. It creates this protective little barrier around you, where the opposition is the tail or the brace on the kite. And the opposition, supported by all of the various air signs, forces an issue to the surface. So the opposition is Neptune in Aries in opposition to Moon in Libra. Okay, where is this in your chart? It's in the area of your desire to explore, expand, and know more about your world, possibly to travel, to trip the light fantastic, and your ability to express that and get it across to the world that you really are tired of being tied down. And this is going to surface no matter what you do. That some of the things that you've gone through, some of the things you've experienced, and some of the ways you've acted were due to the fact that you were being compressed from different areas of your life: work, home, issues with your extended family, whatever. So this could be a very, very interesting day on Wednesday the 29th, and that will flow into your will definitely flow into the rest of next week and even beyond, because when a kite formation occurs astrologically, it is one of the most dynamic, powerful signs of change that you can get at any time. So pay attention to this. If you need to go back and listen to my forecast review, it might be helpful for you to understand more about that. So take care, Aquarius. Oh, you know what? I'm jumping around here too much. I need to add a couple things to this session. So Oracle card. Spiritual law of attraction. This is one of the most powerful manifesting cards that you can get. So this is a time of bringing ideas to a material world and bringing them online and having things happen because you need them to. Spiritual law of attraction. We hear that a lot, but how does it happen? How do you make it happen? Is it just luck? I don't think so. Wheel of Fortunes. You are going into the next chapter of your life. Things are changing around you. This is you as a business person, non-gender specific, or a leader in the field that you are working in. And it has some creative overtones. The King of Swords is you. And the energy around this is that you are ready to step up to the plate. You have been anxious. You've been worried about what is possible. Can you make something happen? Will it actually come to fruition, etc.? And you've been isolating yourself and spending a lot of time dwelling on the potentials of whatever you're working on. I would say that because this card showed up, this is a very important time for you to change your life and to move in a new, more powerful direction of your choosing. Okay, Aquarius, sorry for the glitch in this reading. I am still learning how to handle some of the technology, but I will note it. I will note this in the timestamp and make it more understandable as we go along. Anyhow, have a great week and take care. Hello, all you earth signs, and welcome. Let's get started and look at what's going on with you. Okay. On Monday the 20th, although this is past, we had Mercury in Aries conjunct Saturn in Aries. Now Saturn is ruled, is the ruler of Capricorn. So it is a very practical, make plans, strategize kind of energy. On the 20th, there could have been a discussion ensuing that demanded that you make some clear plans. I guess you could call them plans, but I'm not even sure that's exactly what we're talking about here. Maybe it's a discussion about what you truly feel about another person, or maybe it's a situation where you've been invited to take a new job and you're really not sure you want to. But that's the kind of energy that was circulating around the 20th. And the last time this took place was May of 1998. A rather serious junction for me, at least. And I think for many people, it's about coming to an understanding about a situation that you may have kept secret for a while. On the 22nd, we have a comfortable moon at 12 degrees of Cancer conjuncting Jupiter at 12 degrees of Cancer. Very comfortable for a Taurian. And in the third house, great time to share your ideas with somebody, go out and have lunch, spend time in sort of jovial companionship. It sounds like something out of a Victorian novel, but it kind of has that overtone. On Friday the 24th, Venus moves into Gemini. It's great for you. And it's going into the area of finance. So you will be spending your time looking at your portfolio and seeing how you can increase your income in some way, or deal with your income in some way. One of the most dynamic periods is between Saturday the 25th and the Sunday the 26th. Let me talk about it. So, on Saturday, we have the Sun in Taurus, which is all about you all day long. This is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Taurians, right? But look to the first house for this. The sun in Taurus will square off Pluto in Aquarius. And Aquarius is in your 10th house of your career. So there could be a sense of what your career is demanding of you is not what you want to be giving the career. So that's one issue. On Sunday the 26th, we have Mercury in Aries, and I'm looking here to see where that is for you, in the 12th house of deep secrets, desires, what you consider your life path, squaring your 3rd house of ideas, communication, etc. So it could be a situation where you're having to say something or communicate with a memo or some way get ideas across when you don't agree with these ideas or you don't agree with what you're being asked to say. The weekend is tied up with focusing on several areas of your work world and your career at a larger level. And if you aren't working, it could be something to do with a community organization that you're involved in. So it's tricky and it's a little bit tiring. The next big transit is complicated. And if you're not into astrology in a technical way, it might be a little difficult to comprehend. But let's get on this and see if we can make it clear. On the bigger thing here is that we're talking about a kite formation. And yes, it looks like a kite. Well, a kite formation is one of the most dynamic astrological transits. And it forces you to change whether you like it or not. So in your case, we have 3 air signs: Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius, Venus in Gemini, and the moon in Libra. Moon in Libra is great for you because you share rulership. Venus rules Libra and Taurus. Okay. You have these 3 supporting planets. The opposition is between Aries, which is in your 12th house, which we talked about before, and Libra in your 6th. You're being asked to do something you don't want to do, or carry out something in the workplace, or make something happen in a way that has to do with your health. Maybe you just simply don't want to do what they're asking you. It also could have something to do with your health. You're being asked to take vitamins that you don't want to take, etc., etc. Instead of stifling this will come to the surface. Your practitioners will understand it, or will come to understand it. The people that you work with will come to understand it. And why? Because you have the grand trine of air signs making it possible for you to express this to the world. And there's support for you getting clear on your needs. Is this an easy time? No. Is it going to demand patience and to some degree courage? Yes. But this should be a very interesting week ahead. And that particular transit, the kite transit, or it's the kite formation in the chart, will carry on at least for another week or so. So it's very powerful, very informative, and will demand a change of understanding on a lot of different levels. Okay, let's take a look at your cards, Taurus, and see what's going on with you right now. Taurus. Retreat into nature. When all else fails, get outside. Even if you can just go sit on a bench, get outside. If you can go for a walk, even better. So that would be fabulous for you. Let's take a look at some tarot cards and see how this works for you. Taurus. There'll be news about your finances, Knight of Pentacles. There is a powerful person behind you who's concerned about you, wants you to make more money, the Emperor. You might be also asked to step up to lead a project. You will be consulting with somebody to make sure that you're doing it properly. Two of Wands. And an old friend could step in to support your project. Six of Cups. Okay, Taurus, I hope you have a great week. Please drop me a line if you're interested in a reading, and have a wonderful week, and don't let anything keep you from finding time to get outside and enjoy nature. Bye-bye. So Virgo, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Let's jump right in here and take a look at what's going on with you. This forecast goes from the 22nd to the 30th, but I'm going to add the 20th for a reason. Mercury in Aries conjunct Saturn in Aries. The last time it did this was in May of 1998. This is a dynamic, albeit positive, discussion, argument, planning session between an issue between your ideas and practical implications and practical implementation of some of these ideas. And for you, Virgo, it happened in an area of your life that had to do with money versus some very poignant part of your chart. It could be somebody was going through a life change. It could have been somebody was passing. Maybe you were having second thoughts about any number of life issues. It could have had to do with a relationship. It could have had to do with a project you were working on. But whatever it is, this is a the Saturn and the Saturn and the Venus landing in this 8th house of your chart was very dynamic. Okay. To lighten it all up, on the 22nd, we have gentle, caring Cancer, and it's Cancer moon conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, landing over in your 11th house of groups, organizations, and your dreams of the future. This is a powerful, delightful, actually, I would even go as far as saying comfortable period that allows you to work out all kinds of interesting details, whether it's in your head or on paper or actually by talking it through with friends. Now, Another thing that's occurring on Friday, the 24th, is that Venus goes into Gemini. And for you, Virgo, that's going to be up in your area of career and all those kind of wonderful things that have to do with career. And it could be very, very positive. Maybe you're working on getting a new job, or you have to fill out paperwork or whatever. On Saturday and Sunday, the energy is a little testy, as we have Taurus, your sister Earth sign, and that's the sun is in Taurus, squaring Pluto in Aquarius. Now, it's not earth-shaking, but it is your 6th house of work, squaring the sun in Taurus. And where is Taurus for you? Well, it's in the 9th house. So you may be going, at least in your head, ooh, I'm going somewhere, I'm doing something, I'm going to have some fun, and your work situation is saying you either have to take the work with you, or you have to stay behind and do the work, or they want you to. So that's coming up. So that could be very, very annoying. On Sunday the 26th, we have Mercury squaring Jupiter, which is like a push-pull energy. And Mercury will be in the sign of Aries, in your 8th house of major transitions and life change, squaring Jupiter in Cancer in your 11th. So on top of all of this, there could be something happening in your life in a large organization, which is disturbing the apple cart, so to speak. You're worried about the future of your career. You're worried about the support that they're willing to give you. You may have taken time off for some family situation, and you're wondering if this was the wisest thing to do. I'm sure it'll all work out, and there'll be a lot of support for what you were doing, because you're a Virgo and you don't do things willy-nilly. But on the other hand, this weekend is a little bit trying, because it isn't just go with the flow. There are several situations that occur that lead back to your great and glorious career, and you need to pay attention to it. The other big transit is a little bit more complicated to describe, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's called a kite formation. It's literally the way that the design lays out in your chart. It looks like a kite, and I'll describe it to you. So you have Venus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, and Moon in Libra. They're all air signs, and they create a triangle. And this triangle is supportive. It's called a grand trine. It's lovely. The part that makes up the kite is in opposition. In opposition from Neptune in Aries and the Moon in Libra. So where is Aries in your chart right now? It's in your 8th house, major life transition. And the Moon is in the 2nd house, your finance area. How you make money, how you earn it, that's the same thing. How you earn your money, how you grow your money, how you spend it, etc., etc. So you may be in a situation where you want to expand, and that's the transitional part. Maybe you're exploring moving, or you're redesigning your home, or you want to send a kid off to college or whatever. The opposition is there. Can you do it? Do you have the wherewithal to make these things happen? The grand trine is bringing this to the surface and is allowing you to communicate it to friends and family. And on top of that, the grand trine supports this process. So it's a very interesting transit. It's an opportunity for change that can only bring your needs to the surface and possibly help you to move forward. Virgo, with that, I want to look at your oracle cards and see what's happening. Virgo, 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 Virgo. Clear and shield your energy. So I would suggest that when you're in with groups of people, imagine a white bubble around yourself at times so that you can protect yourself. Also, breathe and spend time out in nature. That helps a lot with clearing and shielding yourself. The issue of a long-term relationship could be coming to the surface. Someone who has been interested in you may be wanting to make it a more committed relationship, or maybe it's time for you to commit to a project. Luck is on your side. So whatever you're working on right now can grow and prosper. You are thinking nervously about past issues, and can we move past the old haunts? There is a new project that you are working on, and you are at the basic beginning of it. But this is you protecting this new project, working on it, and making sure that it happens. Queen of Cups. In a very loving way. Virgo, please have an opportunity, take an opportunity this week to pamper yourself. I keep seeing that as I look at this chart. If you have questions about your chart, feel free to drop me a line. I'm at cottagetarot.com. And most of all, have fun. Take care. Hey there, Capricorn. I hope you're well. Let's jump right in. Okay. This forecast goes from the 22nd to the 30th, but I am going to include one day extra. Monday the 20th, we have a conjunction between Mercury and Saturn in the sign of Aries. And for you, Capricorn, that is so very important because it's all about home and family. This is something you've been working on. There may be a change in residence, or you may have some issues in the family. Now, the last time you had a similar pattern was in 1998, in the May of 1998. This is a chance to strategize and plan to work on a project that relates to the family. And there's no hiding it, putting it right out there. On Wednesday the 22nd, the moon in Cancer will conjunct Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer all day long. And it's a very comfortable placement for Capricorn, although it is your opposite. It could have to do with long-term partnerships, but it's a comfortable day and a chance to regroup. Friday the 24th, Venus will move in energetic, mercurial, talkative Gemini. And that is in your 6th house. So it's talk, 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 talk. And guess where? At work. Also, there could be a lot of discussion revolving around various ways to take better care of your body, whether it's through moisturizing, working out, taking different vitamins. It doesn't have to be complicated. Okay. I'm going to mention 2 big transits, and these are a little bit complicated, but not too terribly. Saturday the 25th, the Sun in Taurus, which you're very comfortable with, will square Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Taurus is in your 6th house, and Aquarius is in your 2nd. There will be a push-pull or a major discussion related to work and money. Hopefully it benefits you and you come out on top. On Sunday the 26th, we have Mercury in Aries, and that's the 4th house, squaring Jupiter in Cancer. So your long-term partnerships, your valuable relationships that you've had for a while, who are either business or romantic, will have a push-pull energy as it relates to anything to do with your family. You may have family members that don't like your partners. You may have a family member that doesn't like your boss. You may have a family member that doesn't like your husband, wife, significant other. And that will come up and it will be a cause of anxiety for you. You just have to breathe, let it go, because they're not walking in your shoes. And that's the only thing I can add to that. Now, on Wednesday, the 29th, we have a grand trine in 3 air signs. Pluto in Aquarius, Venus in Gemini, and the Moon in Libra. They create this protective barrier. It dances throughout your chart. Okay. So Venus in Gemini is in your 6th house of work and health. Pluto in Aquarius is in your 2nd house of finance. And then Libra is up in your 10th of your great and glorious career. Yay. All of these create a triangle of solidarity. Then we have an additional aspect that's thrown in for good measure, and it's called a kite formation. It's one of the most dynamic, powerful transits that anybody can get. We're all experiencing it to one degree or another. And that is the opposition between Neptune in Aries and Moon in Libra. Now, where does the Aries land? In your 4th house of home and family, and the Moon is up in your 10th house of career. I don't know all of you out there. There's hundreds of you that might be listening to this. Hopefully there's hundreds of you listening to this. The opposition occurs and plays out like this. Your family wants you to participate in something, and your job, your career, is forcing you to focus on something entirely different. The grand trine in air signs is supporting you in following your best course of action. This push-pull between your career and your family will come to it, the information will come to the surface, and you will be forced to address it head on. The air signs that create this trine are very supportive. It's like they are the quarterbacks that are backing you up so that you can move forward with your plans. You cannot duck out of this. The opposition and the connection to the grand trine is forcing the issue to the surface. And the issue is really in the area of home and family. Something goes on in the family, or something is going on with the home that needs to be addressed. And you cannot get around pretending that there is an elephant in the room. And that will be taking place on Wednesday the 29th. We'll move through to the 30th, which is the end of this forecast, but we'll continue. The energy will flow into the following week, at the very least. Okay, Capricorn, let's take a look at what else is going on. I'm going to take another sip of water. Let's look at the oracle cards, okay, and see what's going on here. Trust that the universe has your back. Trust that there are people that care about you and want to see you thrive. Trust that their opinions mean something. If you've trusted them so far, it's important that you continue doing so. Queen of Wands. This is you being in the catbird seat. You are in charge. King of Pentacles. There is a potential here of earning more money. It's a new, powerful start. It's a new beginning all around. King of Cups. Non-gender specific. You have friends or people supporting you who have Cancerian or Pisces or Scorpio energy. They're very watery, but insightful. And lastly, you will move into a more peaceful period, hopefully in another week or so. Okay, Capricorn, hang in there. Take care of yourself. Try to have some downtime. And until we meet again, take care. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this reading, the other end of it. Let's jump right in. Okay, on Monday the 20th, I'm adding that on because we actually go from the 22nd to the 30th, because this is a reverberating energy that you need to hear about. So, Mercury in Aries, which is up in your 10th house of career, conjuncts Saturn in Aries. The last time this happened was May of 1998. It's all about your career, where you want to go with it, what you believe you are worth. And you know, actually, I've been hearing this from a lot of astrologers. The last 7 to 10 years have been about us finding out what we're truly worth. So this is a very important transit. Now, on the 22nd, Cancer, the moon is in Cancer at 12 degrees, and it is conjunct Jupiter in Cancer at 12 degrees. That's hitting your first house, or wherever your moon or your sun is sitting. It's powerful for you because you are a Cancer, but it's also comforting. On Friday the 24th, Venus moves into Gemini. Yay! And that's in your 12th house of spirituality, creativity at a very deep level, your deepest secrets, your deepest desires, things that people don't know about you, and also what you consider your purpose. There are two big transits outside of what we just discussed. I'm scooting in, that I want to really put some energy into. The sun is in Taurus, and it's squaring Pluto in Aquarius. Taurus is in your 11th house, dreams, wishes, and big organizations. Okay. And it squares Pluto in Aquarius. And that's in your 8th house. So something is pushing against, or pushing and pulling between the 8th house of major life transitions and what you really would like to have happen. Would you rather be a ballet dancer than a corporate executive? Are there people who have your best interests in mind, or want to support you to start a business, but you're really not interested? There's some kind of generalized tension between the life change you're starting to experience and the impact of other people and organizations on that transitional period. On Sunday, the sun, no, I take it back. Mercury will be in Aries. That's your 10th house of career. And it will square Jupiter in Cancer. So again, there's an irritating rub between your needs and the career, or your needs and the community that you work with. Let's say you're a volunteer and you're retired, or you work, let's say you work at a church and you run the soup kitchen. You may need a day off, and the soup kitchen must go on. It's some type of strain between the needs of the large organization you're involved in, or the work you're doing, and your personal identity and your needs. There might be also a situation where they're asking you to look a certain way, and you don't want to dress the way they're suggesting you dress. You know, sometimes the buttoned up look is necessary for a corporate job, and you're just not into it. Something like that. Over the Saturday 25th and 26th, there's several moments of friction that seem to fly in the face of you as a person and your personal needs. The last transit that I'm going to mention for this week, if that weren't enough, is a grand trine. So you have a grand trine between Pluto in Aquarius, Venus in Gemini, and a Libra moon. Creates a lovely trine, and a grand trine is supportive, dynamic, and makes things happen. Great. We also have a major opposition at the same time with some of the same planets. And this, my friends, is called a kite formation. It is a dynamic transit that forces change. It forces change on you whether you like it or not. How about that? So, Cancer, where does this fall in your chart? It is between the area of your career and your 4th house of home and family. This is on the 29th. This is Wednesday. Like it or not, the career wins out. You will be asked to step up, to take on a more responsible job. You might be asked to lead a project. You might be asked to leave the current job that you're working in and go into another area. But whatever it is, there's no pushing this down. There is an opportunity, and for some, they will see it as a mixed blessing between your home life and the career. So that's, and if you're retired, it's the same dilemma. You won't be able to shimmy out of this without creating a real problem for a lot of different people. So you will have to work on it and state your case and be very clear about your needs. But anyway, that's what's happening. This energy will run into the 30th as well as into the following week and maybe beyond. This kite formation is blow it out of the water, unusual, first of all, and it's masterful, and it's affecting your life in a very big way. Okay, Cancer, let's take a look at the oracle cards and see what's happening there. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Power of joy. Try to keep it upbeat. Try to be happy. Enjoy your downtime. Enjoy your food. Spend time with your family if you have, people around you. If not, ask somebody out and go do something. Power of joy. Let's see what else. Page of Pentacles. There'll be news, probably good news about your financial situation. You'll be consulting with somebody. Two of Wands. There's a new project that's being laid at your feet. Ace of Wands. There's money coming in from this project, but you will be spending it too, as quickly as it comes in, by the way. And there will be a sense of emotional healing over all of this as we move through next week. Cancer, drop me a line. Let me know how you're doing. I'm a fellow Cancer. No matter what, we've got your back. Take care. Pisces, how are you? I hope well. Let's launch ourselves in here, okay? This forecast goes from the 22nd to the 30th, but I'm adding the 20th for a reason, because this will reverberate way past this week. So let's start. Mercury in Aries is conjuncting Saturn in Aries. They both sit in the same spot. It's in the 2nd house of finance. Practical discussions about your finances. The last time you experienced something this dynamic was in May of 1998. It could even erupt into a situation of how did we lose XYZ amount of money? So just keep that in mind. On Wednesday the 22nd, we have lovely Jupiter in Cancer, conjuncting the moon at 12 degrees of Cancer. For you Pisces, it's a fellow water sign. Guess what? It's in your 5th house. It's the playhouse. It's fun. It's children. It's taking kids out for pizza. It's having time to work on art projects. Go ahead, decoupage something, make something, knit something. And it's also about romance. On Friday the 24th, Venus, the planet of love, is in your 4th house of home and family. Yay! And it's going to stay there for a while. So these are nice lead-up periods. There's so much happening. It's not just that. I could go on for days, but this week is so busy. I am right now going to talk about 2 major transits. One is on this 25th and 26th. They're not connected, but they feel like they are. The sun will be in Taurus, and it will be squaring Pluto in Aquarius. And for you, Taurus, Pisces, Taurus is really comfortable for you, and it's in your 3rd house of ideas, communication, and how you communicate. Great. Pluto in Aquarius is in your 12th house. It's all about secrets, spirituality, some of these very deep areas of your life. You're not going to feel like, because it's a square, you don't want to share these ideas with people. You may have a partner that says, tell me about what you were like at age 6. Or you might go out on a date with somebody and they say to you, tell me about yourself. Well, in my last life, I was a nun. And they said, come on, really? No, I was in a monastery. Really? Come on, tell me the truth. You're not going to feel like talking about your secrets. This is the kind of energy that occurs on the 25th. On the 26th, Mercury in Aries will square Jupiter in Cancer. So Aries is over in the 2nd house of finance, and Cancer is in the 5th. So it's a square. So it means you might want to have something, you might want to work on a creative project or go out on a play date, and you just are worried that you don't have the money to support the event. So that comes up on the 26th. So it's a weekend that has its moments that allow you to relax, but there are also moments of tension. So keep that in the back of your mind when you're planning things. On Wednesday, the 29th, is the other big transit. So I'm going to start out slowly. Pisces, we have a grand trine, which means 3 air signs in this case. Pluto in Aquarius, I'm looking to see where that is for you, is in your 12th house. The moon in Libra, which is your 9th house. And your 4th house, which has Gemini. And it's Venus in Gemini. So these 3 areas create a triangle of support, which is really great for you. But then the way we create the second part of this transit, which creates the name that I'm going to give you, creates the eruption and the push-pull that has to occur. So we are working on something called a kite form. So we have the triangle, and then we have the opposition. It looks like a kite. And wherever the opposition is occurring is the thing that has to come to the surface. And the triangle energy, the 3 air signs, are the cheering section that allows you to put this energy that you're being forced to act upon into the world. So the trine energy behind you is forcing you to deal with a money situation. Like it or not, you are going through a major life transition. You maybe just got out of a divorce. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe your career has changed entirely. Maybe your partner spent a lot of money gambling. It could be any number of things. The trine, the grand trine around you, is supporting you in communicating this problem to someone you trust and supporting you to find a way out of the problem. And that's what the kite does. This energy generates repercussions over the next few weeks. It's not something that can be fixed overnight. It is not necessarily overwhelming, but it does demand attention. And that is occurring on the 29th. It will still be reverberating into the 30th and then beyond. Okay, Pisces, that's what's going on here. Think about it. Let me know what you think. cottagetarot.com. And I'm going to put down an oracle card for you. Pisces, 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 Pisces. Detach from drama. Don't let the turkeys get you down. So you spent too much money on Amazon. You can pull yourself out of this. With the support of loving friends and partners, you can do this. Detach from drama. Don't let people get too crazy. Don't spend your time around it. If it's making you feel unclear, move on. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. What do we need to know? Use your head, not your emotions. Stay clear. Things will improve. 9 of Pentacles. This means there will be support. There will be a rebirth. You will improve. The Death card. It's always about improvement. You might be a little bit down in the mouth, the Moon, about the situation. How could you help not? People go through things. Queen of Cups. This means you need to nurture yourself. This is you. This is Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. You are in charge. You have to use all of your intuition. There will be a message, I believe, coming through very quickly, and you will move into a better period, more resolve, peaceful, and more organized. Okay, Pisces, until next time, keep up the good work, take care of yourself, and be well. Scorpio, welcome. I hope you're well. Let's get going and talk about what's happening here. Okay, this forecast goes from the 22nd to the 30th. Okay, but I'm going to throw in one extra day. That's Monday the 20th. Because Mercury in Aries conjuncts Saturn in Aries. Mercury is all about communicating an issue, and Saturn is about fixing it. Can get a little heated, The last time we had one similar to this was May 1998. This falls in your 6th house of how you work, where you work, and how you take care of your body beautiful. You may have a conflict in that area of your chart. Someone doesn't agree with you, doesn't agree with your style. Maybe you're struggling with something with it. On the 22nd, the lovely moon in Cancer will conjunct Jupiter in Cancer, your sister sign, sister water sign, and this will be in your 9th house. Yes, your 9th house of learning, expanding your world, travel. And this happens in a big way. You might be invited to go on a long distance journey. Somebody may connect with you emotionally and they want you to come along. But whatever it is, it's very comfortable for you. Friday the 24th, Venus moves into Gemini. And for you, Scorpio, Gemini energy can be a little bit taxing, but it's in your 8th house. Lots of issues to be considered because this is transition, transition, transition. And you're using your intellect to work through it. Now, we have 2 periods that I'm going to capitalize on, and I want to talk about because they're major transitions and major transits that impact you. On Saturday the 25th, Taurus, your opposite sign, sits on, the sun sits in Taurus, will square Pluto in Aquarius. And where is Aquarius? In your 4th house. So there could be a big issue with a partner of any sort and issues that are occurring in your home, whether it's a remodeling job or something to do with your family. It could be a situation they don't like your partner and they're letting you know it. It's irritating, but it comes up on that weekend. On the 26th, Mercury in Aries, which is again in your 6th house of work, squares Jupiter in Cancer in the 9th. You want to do something. You want to go have some fun, have some freedom, learn something new, take in a play, and work is calling you. Maybe you're on call. Maybe they want you to be on call at some facility. It could also be your health. You're not feeling particularly spiffy. That's that weekend, the 25th and the 26th. The last transit that I'm going to talk about is a major one. It's called a kite. And it's because the pattern that it makes looks like a kite. And it is because the kite formation forces change on you. There's no wiggling out of this. You have to move with it. You have to make it happen, and it will benefit you in the long run. But let's drop into it and talk about it. So we start out with a grand trine. And it goes like this. The moon is in Libra. And the moon in Libra is in your, I'm dancing around your chart right now, is in your 12th house. Then the Pluto, and that's about secrets and your desires and your hidden concerns and issues that have to do with what you think your purpose in life is. Then Pluto is in Aquarius in your 4th house of home and family. And then Venus is in Gemini. And that falls in your 8th house of major transition. So this creates a triangle. Basically, a triangle that supports you and protects you because of the various key points that are included. The opposition occurs between Neptune in Aries and your 12th house, where Libra sits, the moon in Libra. So your 6th house is your health and your body beautiful, I always call it, and the work a day world, how you work, what kind of building you work in, what type of work you do. And it's opposing your true desires. It's opposing some secrets you've been holding out on people that are close to you even. Also, it's opposing what you think is your true purpose in life. So you might be working as a fire person, working with a fire department. And what you really believe you should be doing is acting. It's been a long-held secret. People don't know this about you. They don't know that you can act. They don't know that most people don't know that you've been in lots of different small productions. And so this will come to the surface over this period of time. And it could take a few days to start to amp up. But no matter what, you're not going to be able to keep it a secret any longer. And the trine of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini, which are all very intellectual, will continue to support you to deal with this opposition. And it could take weeks, but there's no avoiding it. It's purposeful, deliberate change that is in some ways forced upon us when this kite formation occurs. It's a trip. Okay, so let's move on and take a look at the oracle cards and see what's happening here. Focus upon your strength. You can do this. You know you have the ability to do many other things. And if acting or something like that, or cooking, or you want to really be a nanny is your shtick, focus on it. Okay, let's look at the tarot cards. Let's see what's going on. You've carried this on your shoulders for a long time. You've kind of, carried it around in your back pocket. The High Priestess is your intuition. You knew intuitively that this was going to come out. This is a message coming to you, the Page of Wands. Page of Cups is some good news. So 2 pages. 3 pages. Page of Pentacles, some news about money. You can't, this is so, all pages. Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and Page of Cups. They're all sending you information. And Knight of Pentacles, this is a financial offer. And there'll be a celebration. Four of Wands. Okay, people. Scorpio, you have your work cut out for you, but it could be very fruitful. Please, I'd love to hear what happens. Drop me a line at cottagetarot.com, and I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, be well and take care.